Hello, hello, hello. Thank you guys for joining Relive Podcast. Um, Today we will be talking about female entrepreneurs and our journey through entrepreneurship. So today we have our special guest, which is Rakisha Clinton,
Hello.
uh, Administrator CEO of Focal Point Academy of Health. We have our co-host Erica Sloan. How are you doing today, Erica?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. And we have our second co-host, Aaron Brown. AB is what they call him. How you doing, Aaron?
I'm all right.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So today we will be talking about our journey through entrepreneurship. So if you guys are out there watching live tonight on Facebook and YouTube, please share, share, share. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook Live every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're gonna go ahead and get on into this because I think we got a lot to talk about. I'm excited to hear about Rakisha's new Academy of Health focal point. And so, Keisha, tell us a little bit about. We know that you are a nurse. You were a nurse previous to you starting the school. Take us through your journey of you becoming a nurse and how Focal Point came to life.
Absolutely. So let me just say, first of all, thank y'all for having me. I am abundantly blessed just by the thought of anybody thinking about having me as a special guest. I always think of my journey as being my personal journey and will share when asked. Hopefully, that it continues to give somebody an encouragement as they move along their journey. So, I will tell you, I started as a housekeeper. I did not start as a nurse. I started as a housekeeper. I believe that's where I got my grit and my determination to keep moving forward because I had to move forward on those baseboards and get them clean. So I started as a housekeeper about 8, 9 years old with my grandmother, and so in watching how strong and how steadfast and what a hard worker she was, it helped me to again give me the grit and give me the motivation to keep moving forward to do better and better in life, more so to make her proud. So, as a housekeeper, I even was a housekeeper at a hospital 30 years ago. And so, at St. Davis, as a matter of fact. So, being a housekeeper at St. Davis, I had the opportunity to be around nurses, and I was looking at what they were doing, looking at how they were saving lives, looking at how the patients were so thankful for what the nurses were doing. And I am definitely not one of those people who can say, I've always wanted to be a nurse. I have not always wanted to be a nurse. I thought I was
Mhm.
going to be a teacher or a singer, teacher, singer, really. And so I am watching the nurses, I saw how they were helping the patients. And I said, I may want to try that. Now, my grandmother and my grandfather had talked to me about it early on in life, but I just decided, I don't know if I want to do that. So I decided to go to nursing school. And when I went to nursing school, it's definitely something different. The level of patient care, the standard of patient care has changed during the generations. So over the last almost 26 years in healthcare and almost 25 as a nurse, I've seen a very big change in how, again, the standard of care has not been what it should be. So during all of these years, I've worked in ICU, I've worked in med surg, I've worked in a lot of different areas: long term care, long term acute care, home care, and in 2014 is when I decided to go into education and was given the opportunity to teach at Brightwood College. That was my first teaching opportunity. And so, it all came full circle. I ended up being a teacher. So I really enjoyed that, went on to teach nurses patient care technicians, phlebotomists, medical assistants, nurse assistants, taught various courses. And so I said to myself, as much as I'm working in at different schools and building up their programs, why not do this on my own? Why not institute my own school, bring it to pass, so that way I can ensure that I'm not only following the curriculum that Texas Workforce Commission has set forth, of course, and HHSC, but I'm able to implement a lot of different courses that I think students need as far as professionalism, character development, and all of that. So we integrate all of that into our courses and what we teach. So we can pepper that throughout there, and I can just make it do what it do. So that, I'm a little long-winded. You have to tell me when to stop. So that is how I got to the point of Focal Point Academy of Health and Focal Point Consultants. Focal Point Academy of Health, we're located in Houston at 9894 Bissonnette. Y'all heard me say that over and over again. Suite 180, Houston,
Right.
Texas 77036. And so we'll have all of our social media handles, and our website is www.focalpointacademyofhealth.com. So we teach nurse assistant and phlebotomy. We are in the process of trying to gather everything we need to get to a nursing program. So that is our final step, is a nursing program. So that is the goal. And that's where we're at.
So was this a hard process when you started?
Is that a
this
rhetorical
idea?
question? Is that a rhetorical question? Yes, it was.
No, because in entrepreneurship, people see the end result of it.
Right.
They don't see the late nights,
Right.
the blood, sweat, and tears, the doubt, the self-doubt, like, oh, can I really do it? One side of your brain is saying, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I've been in this career for such a long time. I'm going to take what I learned at another job in my career, and I'm going to use it to benefit me and to teach someone else, these other upcoming students who want to be phlebotomists, who want to be CNAs, nurses, medical assistants, or whatever. And I'm going to teach them. Was it difficult to say, you know what, God, I really trust you. I'm going to step out. I'm going to leave my job and step out with no income. I don't know how this is going to work. And still having that self-doubt, because sometimes in business, when we do step out there, because we are so used to this every 2-week paycheck, we kind of straddle the fence a little bit. We're like, we know what we're doing, and we know we're good at something, but I know I'm gonna get this check too every 2 weeks. I don't really know if I'm gonna get a check over here. But I know over here, if I go to this job every day and clock in, there's a reward at the end of the 2 weeks, right? Which is my check for working for them. Tell us about the struggle, the self-doubt, and then how you motivated yourself to keep pushing, even when that little doubt in your mind came, or when you was moving towards something backed you up and you had to do something else. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think whenever you do something that requires work and requires trust and requires faith, it may shake you just a little bit. You would not be a human if you said that, you never doubted yourself. You never doubted the process, not necessarily yourself, because you know that you can do something if you put your mind to it, but just the process. The process can get a little daunting. The process can make you think that, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to get to that point. But the main thing that you have to remember is you have to remember your why. Why did you start in the beginning? Why did you even think of this? Why was it a vision put on paper? What I go back to is, and this is very important, you write the vision down. Even the word tells us that you write that vision down, you make it plain so that you can refer back to it. You speak it out of your mouth. You say the things, you call those things that are not as though they were. And you speak it out of your mouth, because whatever you speak out of your mouth, it gets here and it gets here. Okay. It gets deep down in your spirit, and you remember it and you're able to call it up. So my thing is to, the important thing for me was to always remember my why, because there are patients out there that need compassionate quality care, and they need me and my instructors to be able to teach people how to deliver quality care, competent care, compassionate care, so that they can go home to their families, so they can transition to another place, all of that. So you have to remember your why. If your why is not strong enough, then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place, because you have to have that why. And when you refer back to that why, it will give you the strength that you need to keep moving forward. It was difficult, but I tell you something that I drew from. Another thing that I drew from, of course, is wanting to make. I don't know about about everybody. Michelle, of course, I know how many kids you have, but my children are watching me. My children pay attention to what I do. My son is only 11 years old, and he thinks I am Superwoman. Do you hear me? He thinks I can do no wrong. When he looks at me, it don't matter how I look, what I look like. What he thinks I am the tops. And so when he looks at me and he's paying attention to what I'm doing, I want him to be able to say, I am proud of my mother. And he's told me that. And I go back to that every now and again. But you have to remember your why. And another thing that you need to do is you need to seek and draw from mentors, because mentors will keep you motivated. They will keep you moving forward. And every now and again, especially if they are a mentor flowing in the spirit, they're going to send you something that you're not even, it could be at your lowest point and you don't even think about calling them. You're not thinking about texting them. And all of a sudden you'll get a text. All of a sudden you'll get a call. So mentors are very important. Mentors who have either gone where you're trying to go, or who have been there and failed and can tell you how not to fail. Mentors who have made it to that place. So it's very important to have mentors. I have one face-to-face mentor, and I have a mentor from afar. She has no idea that she's my mentor, but she is. Her name is Indra Nui, and she was the CEO of PepsiCo. She is an amazing woman. So I followed her on YouTube for years. And so just her leadership style, and just who she is as a person taught me how to be a leader. And so I think it's very important to remember your why. So you have to draw from your why.
That's good. That's good. Erica, you have a question for Keisha?
So from the time you have started your business, like how long did it take you to go through the process of, we know you were a nurse and now you transition into this, but how long did it take that process for you?
Well, just developing and trying to make sure that the curriculum we had aligns with the Health and Human Services, because Health and Human Services will give you the curriculum for nurse assistant. It does not give you the curriculum for phlebotomy. I attended a seminar that was very helpful as well. But I would say right at 2 years. And the reason why is because, you're working in between that time, you're going on vacation, spending time with family, and you get back to it. And so I would say it took me 2 years, because the first year was just trying to make sure I had all my policies and procedures in place. I had to write all that stuff. Trying to make sure that the curriculum lines up with what the state of Texas wants. Plus, like I said, I went to a seminar and I got some really good information there. And everything that goes with running a business, trying to make sure I had all that in place. So 2 years, but then a hard grind for about a year. For about a year, just really, really grinding it out and trying to, make sure that I was in the proper location, and I'm placed strategically. I think y'all heard me say that before, because of who my heart is for. So just trying to find a place and all of that.
Right. Okay.
Now
Okay.
that's just for my business. Now it could be quicker for somebody else depending on what they want to do. You know,
Right.
it all depends on what it is that you're gonna do, what the vision that's been put in your heart to do, to
Right.
how long it will take you.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Aaron, what about you?
Um, well, what excuse me, what I wanted to ask you, Rakisha, where do you see yourself in the next your business in the next 5 years?
In the
What do
next
you?
5 years,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna be retired.
Mhm.
I
I'm
know
just
that's right. Ain't nobody trying to be working that long.
I hope I'm retired. No, in the next 5 years, we'll definitely be. We are expecting exponential growth because we have that type of expectation. Um, we will have a nursing program open and probably 4 or 5 more programs on top of that: patient care technician, surgical tech, nurse assistant phlebotomy, and a nursing program.
That's
I
awesome.
might throw a little dental in there too. I don't know anything about dental, but hey, other people do.
Yeah,
So
Good.
you
I just
cleaned the
about
phone.
research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah.
So how would someone interested in go about getting enrolled into your program?
Good question. Thank you for asking. They would call or they would go on the website. On the website, it has the application for admission. Um, we require you to be 16 years old. Um, hopefully, you have finished high school or GED. If you have not, we have an assessment that you will take at the school, and that assessment is just to gauge your level of ability to be able to read at a certain level, math at a certain level, nothing, no trigonometry, no calculus, no any just basic math. To
Baby, I would fail that. I'm like,
all of that.
I
No
can't go to focal point.
Mhm.
none of that, nothing that requires you to do, any type of differential analysis equations, nothing like that. But we like to know what your previous education level is. That way we can make sure that we provide you with the very, very best level of education. And what else? TB tests, you have to have TB tests, COVID screening, all of that because you'll be working with patients. So you'll go out to the clinical and work with patients for the nurse assistant program. So we just want to make sure that, you've had all that done.
And
But
so,
it's listed on the website. The website lists the what you do to enroll, and also on our social media links, you'll be able to be directed to our website.
and far as financial aid, or is that available? Do y'all accept that?
We do accept it through community partnerships. So there are various community partnerships that we have gotten in touch with that are a resource for those who cannot pay for their tuition, and we also do payment plans as well. So, but we do have community partners for those who aren't able to pay. They can get in. We can give them that contact information for those community partners that will help them with the tuition.
That's cool.
So I guess I was thinking, and I don't know if you said this, so maybe I'm re-saying it. But so, are there certain requirements? I know you said that, of course, GED, but are there any other requirements that you would need if you wanted to enroll?
No, besides what I've said and what's listed on the website, it's very minimal. You don't have to, like I said, you don't have to do
Nothing
uh,
special.
those calculation, anything like that to get in. But and of course, have a sit down conversation with me in particular, because even though you can talk with the instructors, I prefer to have a sit down conversation because, again, focal point. We want you to stay focused, and we
Right.
want to know that you actually want to care for people. I've had nursing students in the past when the last nursing school that I taught at, where I have had conversations, with those who were trying to get in. And if the first thing they said when I said, well, why do you want to become a nurse? Oh, because I want to make some money.
Mm,
Mhm.
Nah,
yeah.
I have to be taking care of my mama talking about
I
Yeah.
don't
We
think
for
you
the
want to be
lives.
a nurse, honey.
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
what happens is, and the reason why, I encourage them to, seek out other careers when they say that, or either I dive a little bit deeper into why they say that, because a lot of times, people say that they want to be a nurse, they want to become a nurse because of the money, is because they want to move on to other things like nurses, that anesthetists and things like that. But I dive a little deeper and I ask them, why they want to become a nurse. And again, sometimes it has a lot to do with they want to get their mama, a house, or they want to, move out of a certain apartment community, or they want to, so it's not always just because they want to, make a lot of money. Because, and if they continually say, oh, well, it's because I want to make a lot of money, well, that tells me that you don't have a heart for nursing, because when the money is not right, or when you're not getting paid what you think you should get paid, then you're not going to treat your patients right. And that's not a nurse.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
That's not nursing.
Right.
That's true. Yeah. I think you have to, in that field, I mean, to me, in any field, you should have passion for what you're doing.
Right.
Especially CNAs, phlebotomy, anybody that is dealing with an individual person's health. That is very important, because you have to be mindful. People are frail, they're sick, they're not feeling well, they want to feel better, they're scared, they don't know what's wrong with them. And they are looking for you to comfort them and to make them feel better and to assure them that they're going to be okay at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I think it's very important to have passion and
yeah, you have to be
not
compassionate.
just want to make money.
I mean, it's not absolutely. You have to be compassionate, and you have to be able to communicate well, because a lot of times, and it makes me think about something you just said. I would tell my nursing students, not just my nursing students, but students before, you can't. It's not going to always be okay according to the thing that person wants.
Right.
Because they may want to be healed of a certain thing, and it may not happen. You may not be able to tell them according to what they want that it's going to be okay, but you can assure them that you will be there for them, that you will listen to them, that you will make sure that you do everything you can to make them as comfortable as possible. So, nursing is a work of the heart. And so you have to have a heart, you have to be compassionate, to be able to deliver competent care.
Yeah.
Yes. I was in training the other day at my job, and we were watching a video about communication in the healthcare place. And as these people were on the video, and it was a day at the hospital, and as people walked through the hospital, these bubbles would pop at the top of their head. And basically, it was the same thing that you're talking about, is showing compassion for people, because you don't know what somebody is going through. You don't know what somebody's day is like. And as I watched the video, you had a doctor, he was getting into an elevator, and the bubble popped on top of his head, and it said, I did surgery on a patient today and they didn't make it. And then it was a man getting pushed in a wheelchair. I was coming to see my wife, and she's been in a coma for 3 months. And then it was a man on there, he had just had a baby. And they were saying, have a little compassion in your heart for things and for people, because you don't know who's on that elevator with you and what they are going through at that moment.
Absolutely.
And on that elevator, it was a bunch of things going on. This doctor had just thought he was going to save a patient that did not live. And this man is wanting his wife to wake up out of a coma she's been in. And then you got a happy person over here who just had a baby. Yeah. And then you got somebody else walking down the hall and they just lost their job. So you don't really know what people are going through on a daily basis. So having compassion in those type of jobs, I'll say in any job, having compassion and being understanding and learning communication is very important, especially in healthcare. It's very,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And then on our side, I think as even with us,
that's amen.
exactly, and then
Mhm.
us having older parents or older grandparents, and
Yes.
you are trusting these people with your family members as well. So it's definitely different pieces to it, and you
Mhm.
expect for those people to care for your parents. You're able to leave them and know that they are well taken care of by these people that So definitely teaching
Mhm.
that, like you said, and making sure that those nurses and those
Mhm.
MAs, CNAs are definitely well trained and able to communicate and have compassion for these
Mhm.
patients that they're caring
Yeah.
for. That's really very important. Very
Yeah.
much.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the heart of what we do at Focal Point is having, teaching. I keep going back to competent, compassionate care. That's the heart of what we do,
Right.
and what we teach because, um, you know, when you go in again, like you said, Michelle, when you go into somebody's room or you're walking in the hallway or you're even in the cafeteria, you don't know what somebody is going through.
Mhm.
We also teach to not take things personally. You know, we have become very emotional creatures.
Mm.
For some reason or another, there has been an evolution of selfishness and emotional. Everybody's
Yeah.
emotional, everybody's selfish. And
Mhm.
so I say that loosely, I don't mean everybody. So y'all don't get to write Michelle talking about her. Keisha said I'm selfish. No, I didn't.
No, they're gonna say I said
No,
it. We get all
I
the
mean, just
message.
as a community, we have gotten to the point where ourselves we're so self-important.
Mhm.
Our egos are inflated. We take everything. We're so emotional,
Mhm.
and so in nursing, you just cannot take everything. You cannot take it personally
Yeah.
because you don't know what somebody's going through. I mean, I've had all kinds of stuff happen to me. I've had pee thrown on me. I've had poop slung at me. All
Yeah.
kinds of Look at Michelle's
Look at
face.
them.
AB.
I don't know if I want to be in that nursing.
I've been called everything under the sun and everything but a child of God, but I still did not waver in my level of care for that person, because
Right.
I'm a professional and I did not take it personally. Because one minute somebody will be calling you outside of your name, and then when they're in pain and you come with that pain medication, you're the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. So,
Yeah.
I don't take it personally, and I teach. We also teach, not to take it personally, not to be over emotional, and not to think that everything is projected at you because it is not. It absolutely is not. People are going through things, and so when they're going through things, um, you have to make sure that you pay attention to what they're saying. A part of communication is listening very well and being
Mhm.
able to listen and try not to internalize what they're saying, thinking that it's directed at you, but it's just a situation. There's a
Yeah.
situation that they're going through. And so you have to help guide them through those situations.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, that you are training um, your students, how long is the program,
I
and
love your
how
questions.
intense is the training and the coursework, and is there uh, a certain percentile that they have to pass? Like, is this over 70, 80, 85? What's the percentile range for
So
that?
each course is different. Phlebotomy is 20 days, nurse assistant is 15 days. The state of Texas requires you to have a minimum of 100 hours for nurse assistant education. And so, because we are a workforce driven society, we want to make sure that we give the students every bit of education we possibly can and send them out into the workforce to be productive. And so, Texas Workforce Commission and Health and Human Services Department, through the curriculum, we've been able to condense that down to 100 hours for nurse assistant, which is why it's 15 days. However, the last 5 days they are in clinical, and they're in a long-term care facility, 8 hours a day, doing exactly what the nurse assistants are doing. For phlebotomy, it's 20 days, which equals 4 weeks, And so we do a lot of lab training from day one. I'll never understand these programs that, and I'm not knocking anybody. So again, don't start writing Michelle. I cannot in good conscience and as a registered nurse and as a caregiver do an online program where people are not doing lab at all in phlebotomy. How do you in good conscience know that that person is taking that needle, bevel up, and sticking someone?
Yeah.
How do you in good conscience sign off on that? And you haven't seen it with your own eyes in person. So no matter what I do with theory, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's in person, your skills, your lab has to be face to face with one of our instructors. So that, again, it's 20 days for phlebotomy. And so, yeah.
Are these
something else? What did you ask me? It was a second question.
How long with the percentile? What kind of grade point average do they have to pass? Is it 70 or?
Because these are certification programs,
Okay.
I have set them at 75. So they have to have a minimum of 75, which equals a C. We always laugh and say C's get degrees, right? So a minimum of C, just like if they were at a university. Just like in a university, so C's also get certification. C also get certification.
Get degrees,
so, but I will tell you this on top of that. Again, about conscience and integrity. If we have a student that is absolutely not getting it, they will not get it in 15 days. If we have a student that is not getting it in 20 days, they will not get it in 20 days. We continue to make sure that we work with that student, that they have a good level of understanding of what they are doing, that they understand the coursework, that they understand the skill, and that they are able to go out and to pass those certifications. Now, with nurse assistant, they have to do a state mandated exam for it's 5 skills, and they also have to take a written portion in order to get their certification from the state of Texas. Also with phlebotomy, they take a national certification. So they sit for a national certification test, and they can take that certification wherever. If they move to Oregon, they can take it to Oregon with them. But it's not that you get a diploma, you leave, or you get your certificate, not diploma, you get your certificate, you leave, and then you go work. No, there are certification exams that you pass before. I'm sorry, my son was texting me. Certifications, and that's the reason why they come. They come because they want to be certified. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
So that is cool. Focal Point seems like it is on. Well, I know it's on point what you're dealing with it, because I know you ain't about to do anything half.
Yeah.
Period. I know you don't operate in that spirit, and you don't operate in that in business. So I knew that when you started talking about it, I was like, man, this is gonna be good. And I hate I missed your grand opening, but I'm coming down there to visit.
okay.
I am coming. That's why I called you this week. Like, no, what day y'all ain't busy? So I can get to Houston and check this school out and let everybody know in the Houston area that, hey, you can go get these certifications. We need good people in those positions.
You do.
Because we have a lot of parents and grandparents who are at home. They need caretakers, and we need people that we can trust to go into our grandparents' home with their personal items in their personal space that they are comfortable in, because they are ill, or they may not feel well, or they may just need a companion there during the day because they're there by themselves all day. So we are trusting that they are going to go and do the right thing. And I know at Focal Point Academy, I know that you're going to teach them that. I know that you ain't going to let them do nothing less than be great coming from that school. So anybody's watching YouTube, Facebook, you guys live in the Houston area, um, check out Focal Point Academy.
I have one more
Well,
question though. I have one more question.
Well,
Just
there is just real quick, AB. Let me
Mhm.
just make a correction real quick. There is a Focal Point Academy in another state. So if they go Focal Point Academy on Google, that's what they're going to see. We are Focal Point Academy of Health.
okay.
Focal, okay, correct me. Okay, Focal Point Academy of Health.
Focal Point
Okay.
Academy of Health in Houston. So if they put Focal Point Academy of Health in Houston, they will come up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
So to piggyback off what everything Michelle just said, um, when it comes to, and I guess I should have asked this, the other part of my question, well, I had a 3-part question, is for people that are interested in attending Focal Point Academy of Health, what is the screening process? Are y'all doing background checks? Just like Michelle said, you want people in the house or wherever. You don't want someone that necessarily has a criminal background or I mean, I'm not saying that they don't deserve to work. I
Yeah, I
don't.
was gonna say, whoa.
No. What I'm just saying is there a screening process and before
He
you,
should.
yeah,
Yeah,
Screening
absolutely.
process.
So the screening process,
Mhm.
I am the gatekeeper, right? That's one thing.
Yeah.
I am the gatekeeper of taking care of the sick and the elderly.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely. So what we do, Health and Human Services Department requires you to not have certain things on your background in order for you to sit for your certification for nurse assistant. There are some things that they will not excuse, okay? Murder, they will not excuse.
Mhm.
If you have had a theft 20 years ago, does that mean you're still a thief? No, it does not. So they kind of, give us the guidelines that we need in order to make sure that we are screening properly. We do background checks on everyone, but everyone is not excluded. Let me make that point clear because a lot of times people think if they have something on their background that they cannot get into healthcare. That is not true. There are some things that you will not, again, murder. There are some things that you will not be able to get in the hospital with. And so
Yes.
we do those background checks just to kind of make sure that you will be able to sit for those certification exams. NHA doesn't, which is for phlebotomy, they don't necessarily have that particular criteria, but because they're coming into our program, we make sure we do background checks again, just so we can make sure and also so we can explain to you what Health and Human Services uh, deems as something that you cannot have on your background to be able to sit for your certification. Now, again, they've even changed the rules because of COVID. A lot of people were being excluded if they had. I'll keep using theft as an example. If they had theft on their um, background 4 years ago, a lot of people were being excluded, and we were losing some good potential CNAs. So because we were losing those good potential CNAs, they said, hey, if it's been over a certain time, let me get my charger real quick. If it's been over a certain time, then these people should be able to sit for the certification. So does that answer your question, AB?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I just thought it was important. There's people out there probably watching it, may have a background and may be interested in
Yeah.
getting into
That's
this.
why it's so important to just come in and let us do it and let's have a conversation because it may be something that, Health and Human Services says, oh, it's okay. And I have that criteria. We have that criteria on our application. So you'll be able to see what excludes you from being able to sit for your certification exam.
Okay.
Cool.
That's cool. So we're going to move forward. And so we know everything about Focal Point Academy of Health, Houston, Texas, owner Rakisha Clinton. I'm excited about it because, we talk periodically. And I was, when you started talking about it, I was like, okay, let's see where this is going. And it wasn't a doubt in my mind that you wouldn't do it because I know you would. But when you was like, yeah, girl, I'm about to have my grand opening, I don't know what day. And I was like, oh, I'm happy. And I was ecstatic for you. I was happy.
Thank
I always
you.
like to do my
Appreciate
my
that.
friends do great things because it inspires me and pushes me to say, you know what, I could do something too. It may not be the same thing, but that gives me motivation.
Well, I can tell you, you are definitely one of my 5 reposters.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
people to repost.
You know what? I'm going to always repost because this is one thing I believe. I
Oh,
believe
goodness.
that not a handout, but a hand up.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of where we are in our entrepreneurship, in business, whatever business we have, whatever business we desire, we can always learn from somewhere else, whether it's leadership, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the credit side of it, whether it's looking for a building, whether it's somebody helping us find real estate for the business or whatever the case may be. I think that business just in itself goes hand in hand, regardless of what you're doing at
Right.
the end of the day. You know what I mean? So even like as for myself, I've been in business since I was 17 years old. I have tried everything. I am not a person who is scared to do anything. I am going to try something. And one of my reasons for wanting to get out of the work industry was my kids. Because in the work industry, you can't take off. You can't do this.
Yeah.
And you're in such a tight bond to where either you're calling in, you're gonna lie and say why you can't come to work. You always feel like you're walking on eggshells. And I did it for so many years. I was like, you know what? I'm very good at a lot of things, everything. I almost make it my point to be great at everything that I do. Um, and so I started learning all these different things. I learned how to do clerical work. I learned how to drive. I got my CDL license. I learned how to I know how to clean up very well. So I started doing, maid work. And I just started going through all this stuff and like, okay, what is it? I know I want to be in business, but I don't know exactly what I want to do. But I know I don't want to work. And my deep, deep passion was to get out and become self employed. And I didn't know what it would be, but I knew whatever I would choose, I would be great at it because it is something that I take great pride in is to be great at everything that I put my hands on. And so when I got into the credit business, I didn't get into the credit business to actually become a whole credit business. I got into that business to help me flourish in other parts of this food business that I was going to get into. Um, but I juggled with that. I didn't know if I want to do coffees. I know me and Erica talked about it one time because
Mhm.
Erica loved coffee. So I was like, okay, I'll bring Erica in because she knows about coffees because she talks about them all the time. She drinks them. I'm going to do this coffee. Erica, maybe we can have some croissant sandwiches and we can have some bagels and we can have some muffins. And I went back and forth with that, right? And I was like, okay. And so I thought about, I was like, what is it that I really like?
Mm.
I love French fries.
Mm.
Love French fries. I go to McDonald's all the time. I get these French fries. I'm like, give me French fries. I want them hot, fresh, no salt. Right. And so, in the midst of me still doing credit, because what I learned is if I got my credit together on the personal end, it would flow over to the business part. And I would be able to get all this business credit to start whatever business that I decided that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And I wanted to do something where I could make my own hours. I could be able to leave here and go on vacation and still make money. I could still do all these things that I desire to do, which was be on vacation. That's all I really want to do.
Yeah.
I want me and Dorian to be gone for
Mhm.
2 and 3 weeks at a time. I want to go back to Puerto Rico. I want to stay in Puerto Rico for 3 weeks. I want to just roam that island. I just want to be
People do
over
it.
there.
People do it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is my whole dream and goal is to do this, but also have my business working while I am not here. And so I started really, really getting into the credit aspect of it. How do I build up my credit score so high to where I can walk into anywhere and get anything that the YT people get, right? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to build up my credit. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to get this credit together so that I can move over into my next phase of business. And so, my thing with this entrepreneurship was like Keisha said earlier, what is your why and why do you want to do this? And my goal was to make money and to give a great product, but also be free of the work industry. And so when I was at work one day and I was talking to some of my coworkers, and I was like, we was talking about business, and everybody was talking about how hard work is, and we go to work and we bust our butt for these people at work, and we topped off at these salaries at some point. At some point, you're gonna get topped off and you're not gonna make any more money. And I was telling them, I said, y'all know what? I want to open a food trailer, but I don't know what I want to do. And I said, but I love French fries because my job is right by McDonald's, right by the McDonald's. And I was like, but I love French fries, but I can't think of a name. And she was like, two of the girls that I work with, they're young girls. And they was like, one of them was like, oh, we was writing stuff on paper and I had already had it all wrote down. I just didn't know the name. And I didn't know that it would be fries. But I knew how much I love fries. And she said, fancy fries. And I was like, fancy fries. And we started laughing about it. And I was thinking, so when I got home, I was like, fancy fries, loaded fries.
I remember talking to you that day.
Fancy fries, the house of the loaded fries. Everybody loved trash can fries. So I started researching French fries, different French fries, the texture of them, how to fry them, what to put on them. And I just started doing a bunch of research on French fries. And I had never got that deep into French fries because, like I say, I go by them, I eat them. We go to places. Erica, me and you, we would go to, what's the place by Walmart? Red Robin's.
Oh, yeah.
Bottomless fries. And we would go there and and I was like, okay, what kind of fries do I want to sell? What do I want to put on them? And I started just researching fries, how to do this with them, how to do that, how to cut them, how to do this and that. And I started thinking of the name Fancy Fries because my coworker was like, you want a name that stands out. You don't want a name that's too long. When you think about businesses and you think about names, you have Walmart, Wendy's, Shortstop, Dan's. It's not a 4 or 5 word name, and she said it has to be something that's boom, and that's it. It can't be too long. It can't be too much. And I started thinking and I was like, you know what? I prayed about it and I said, Fancy Fries is what it is. I am going to sell the best loaded fries in Austin, Texas. They gonna be pile high, dripping, drizzle, dirty. Your mouth gonna be dirty. Your mouth gonna be. Listen, you're gonna have fireworks in your mouth. Okay, these are gonna be fries, and I start thinking of things to put. I'm telling you, I was up all night thinking about what could I put on these fries? How can I serve a community who love piles and piles of stuff on their fries. And how could I serve the vegan community? You know, they love fries too, but a different type of fry. But I knew when you ate that one bite, you was going to get 4 or 5 more bites with that buffalo ranch chicken on it, or with that chili cheese on it, or with that honey hot chipotle barbecue sauce on it. You were going to get a bunch of flavors, hot, spicy, and then wings. Everybody know we love wings. Me, Eric, and Aaron, we go eat wings every Tuesday. We go eat wings, and I'm thinking when you get these wings, they gonna be off the chart.
Yeah.
These wings are gonna be so hot, and I mean they're gonna be hot because baby they fresh out the fryer, but they're gonna be so good, you're gonna want to come back. And so when I decided, I'm like hustling, I get my trailer, and I got my trailer, and nobody knows I have the trailer. I just have it. And because I do believe that people prey on your downfall. So I didn't want to tell anybody. I just want to pop it out there. And I had the trailer, and I was going back and forth to San Antonio and San Marcos, dealing with this trailer, and was getting it ready. And I'm like, oh, hurry up, because I want to pop it out on July the 22nd. And it was an up and down thing. It was an up and down thing for me because I knew that it was going to take a lot of work. I knew that my weekends was going to be taken. And I like to go places. So I had to make a commitment to myself that, okay, are you going to do this or are you not? Right. And what are you willing to sacrifice to do this? To give people this savory.
Keyword, sacrifice.
Yeah. And so yes, I brought it out, and it was a success the first day. It was beautiful. People came out. The people in East Austin came out. It was nice. My friends were there helping me. But it was a struggle too in the process, of getting my credit built up, getting, things in order, making sure my menu was right, making sure I was pricing things right, making sure I wasn't overpricing and not underpricing, going to the restaurant store, looking at the food and how much it costs and how much would it cost for me to buy this and sell it at this and profit and pay my employees and things like that. So it is a tough situation, but I wouldn't change anything because it has freed me from the work industry, which is something that I've been trying to get out of since 2014. So even though I still have my jobs, just kind of PRN them a little bit, but I love it. I love it. I feel free. I feel that entrepreneurship for anybody, whatever you like or whatever you have a passion for, I think that you should step out there on faith and go forward your dreams. To me, what they used to tell us in school, there's no dumb question. So I don't think that there's no dumb business. Even if you fell at it, you can always pick it back up and try it again or try something else. I've been doing business since I was 17. I've had vending machines. I've had moonwalks, popcorn machines, cotton candy. I have done courier services. I still do courier to this day. Box trucks. I've done it all. But I had to do something that fit with me and my vision and the end result that I wanted for my life. And that is to have everything in my house paid to where me and my husband can be taken care of off of my income, and we can be away on an island somewhere enjoying our older life. And that was my goal and my vision for myself. And to be able to take my grandkids places, to show them that there's something outside of Texas, outside of the United States. There are countries, there are other places to see, there are other cultures to learn about. I don't want them stuck here and this is being their at all end all for them. I do not want that for them. So if I could set my life up to be able to afford them that, then that's what I wanted to do. And that was my
Mhm.
why for the reason why I wanted to start my own business.
Excuse me.
So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
But a good thing is that you definitely not afraid to try things. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like you said, you got to keep trying things until you figure out what it is that you want to do. And I don't think it's wrong to try. I don't care if you want to try 50 things. That's on you. Whatever you want to try, whatever you want to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
we here one time. So hey, keep trying.
Just like Rakisha said,
Yeah.
know the why.
Know the why, but also definitely put, like you said, put that passion behind it, knowing that you definitely gonna, whatever you do, you definitely do it to 100%. You're gonna give it 100%, no matter what it is that you try and what you do. Just because it does, you definitely give that, and it might not work out. It you might decide, you know what, I tried it, I gave it 100%, but that might not be what I want to do.
Right.
I'm gonna try this. So what? Do whatever you want to do. Keep trying till you get it right. That's what I feel like. Until you find what it is that you want to do. So
I believe that. I believe that. And I'll tell anybody watching this live tonight that
yeah,
if you have a passion for anything,
yeah,
don't wait to do it. Jump out there and do it. I'm not saying quit your job.
right.
Do it as a side. Do it as a side hustle and see how it works out. And if it works for you, then keep doing it. And then one day you can skim off your work a little bit if it's going in a direction that you want it to go in. I don't encourage nobody to quit their job just off of the rim like that. I was able to let go of my jobs and all the work I was doing because of my husband. He allowed me to quit these jobs or to PRN myself on these jobs to where I can pick and choose the days I go to work. He allowed me to do that because he knew that it was something greater that I wanted to do for myself and for him, because I don't leave him out on that. This is for him, my kids, and my grandkids also. That one day when I get too old to do it, they can go run this truck. You know, my goal is not to only have this one truck. My goal is to have 4 or 5 of these trucks out in Austin. Maybe I'll go up to Houston, maybe San Antonio. I don't know what other plans God has for me, but I know right now, this is it. And when I saw the smiles on these people's faces, eating my food, coming back. I mean, coming back, talking about, we need them wings with that smack sauce on it. We need that Buffalo Ranch chicken because every bite was so good. Oh, we want that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I had a man, y'all. I should have videoed this man. That Kool-Aid though is hitting on something. I'm telling you, this man came back 3 times. The man came back so many times, y'all. I seen him yesterday when I was leaving out, and I had a little bit left. And he's walking down the street, and I pull up on the side of him, and I say, "Hey, you got your cup?" And he like, "No." I said, "Well, I got that Kool-Aid for." He talking about that crack Kool-Aid. I left him. I say, "Hey, man, I was gonna give you the rest of it since you ain't got your cup."
That's hilarious.
Man,
Hey,
he talking about, but next weekend I'm gonna see you though, right? I said, "Yeah, you gonna see me next weekend."
You
That's
got that cup of Kool-Aid. What flavor is it?
Hey, man, I can't give you that.
What flavor is it? Red or is it grape?
It's mystery.
It's mystery. It's a mystery.
That's all you need to know. But it is good.
It's definitely good.
It ain't got no sugar in it.
It ain't got no what?
It ain't got no sugar in it.
Like on a house party.
Damn.
You're gonna be needing to go over the focal point to get some care from one of their nurses when you get all this sugar in your food.
I seen this lady making Kool-Aid on YouTube, and she put all that sugar and stirred it up and took a sip. She said, "Gun smoke."
Hey, listen, but it's exciting to have these businesses and know that people support you and
Yeah.
people come back. I mean, if out of when the new customers come in, I seen people come back 3-4 times, and I'm like, and I've only been open 3 times.
That's
I'm
right.
telling you, I was so excited.
That's
I was
really a blessing.
actually
That is such a
in
blessing.
it really is. I was really
Mm-hmm.
in doubt. I didn't know how this soft opening was gonna go. I didn't know how this past weekend was gonna go. But I had great numbers. And you know, I can't do nothing but give all glory to God, because
Amen.
it is the passion and the love for things and people that He put in me to even want to do anything in business. Because in business, you're serving somebody.
Right.
Whether it's Focal Point Academy, you're teaching people to go out and take care of other people, or whether it's you giving somebody a good cuisine or a good meal. That I'm not gonna say mine's is all healthy, but you know, giving them some good food, and they're coming back and they're telling you, hey, you got this is good. You know, I appreciate that, because you know, it could go any other way, you know what I mean, and it hasn't. And so I'm grateful for it. Even the criticism, I'm thankful for that too, because in business, I don't care what business you get into, you are going to have mistakes. It is going to be trial and error. It's a lot of hustle and bustle. It's a lot of, you know, you may do something good this time, you may do something wrong this time. It's no different when you go to any restaurant. You may go to Chili's and you may not like something, you may send it back. We do it all the time. It does not mean that we still not gonna go to Chili's, because we love Chili's. You know what I mean? Or we love Papados or Papacitos. So I take all the criticism, I take all the cheers and everybody rooting me on. I love it. I appreciate it all, because everything that is given back to me is feedback from me. And what it does, it make me perfect my craft, because I am a perfectionist. And everything I do, I put love in it. I put love behind it, and I will perfect it. And so that is my thing for the night. You
It's
know,
learn and growth.
learn and grow.
That's right.
Learn and grow.
And you grow from it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I will thank everybody for tuning in tonight. If you guys want to start a business, get out there, research it, learn about it, talk to somebody like Rakisha said earlier, get you a mentor, and push forward it. There's nothing wrong with jumping out there and using your God-given talents that you know that you're good at to start your business. Amazon, Dell, Burger King, Wingstop, Wings. I'm sure all of them had a vision. And look at it today. So
That's
there's nothing bad about starting anything. Look at Focal Point coming in.
Academy of Health.
Focal Point Academy of Health in Houston, Texas. We, you know what I mean? It was schools before hers, Southern Careers, you know, places like that. And then here she comes, you know, years down the line, giving the same better service. You know what I mean? Because of the passion that she has behind it. So get out there, you guys, do your thing. If you live in the Houston area, even if you live in the Austin area and you want to go to school out there, visit the website at focalpointacademyofhealth.com. You can find it on TikTok as well at Focal Point AOH, IG Focal Point AOH, Facebook Focal Point AOH, and YouTube at Focal Point Academy of Health. Also, you guys can check out fancyfries.com. Check out my website. See the days that I'll be open. Right now, just Saturday and Sundays, but stay tuned. I will be somewhere permanently. Now I'm at Sam's Barbecue the whole month of August, and I may be somewhere different the beginning of September in a permanent location. But I thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Thanks for your support. Rakisha, Clinton, thank you so much for everything
Absolutely.
that you do for the Houston community, for the Austin community. Just your kindness, you being a good friend, um, and just thank you. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank y'all again for having me. It has been my pleasure. And, you know, if anybody has any questions, feel free to inbox me. They can inbox me personally or they can inbox me under Focal Point.
Awesome. I'm gonna have my daughter reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell her, please do. Please do.
Yes.
Okay, y'all. So we're going to end this show tonight. You guys make sure to tune in to Relock Podcast every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for tuning in, for commenting, for chiming in, for just being a support altogether for this podcast. We love you guys. We will see you guys next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Stay tuned on Facebook. We love you guys. See you later.
Bye.